if you're like me, it's hard to imagine a time when email didn't exist. When we didn't have, say, 150 emails in our Microsoft Outlook work inbox, or 50 emails in our Gmail from online stores trying to vie for our attention. It seemed like we had a whole lot of more time back then, time to read our favorite blogs. And I don't mean just skim, but actually read through them and digest them. So if you're anything like me, chances are your blog readers are too. So let's win back those blog readers and get them actually reading our blogs again by delivering their blogs right to their inbox. So how often do you visit your favorite blogs? Chances are not as much as you'd like to, and your blog readers are most likely the same way. This is where the power of email marketing really comes into place. So 91% of consumers actually check their inbox at least once per day. That means if you get your blog audience to subscribe to your mailing list, you have a 91% chance that they'll actually read your blog at least once per day. In terms of where they're accessing your emails from and where they'll start reading your blog posts from, it could be both smartphone and desktop. So we're going to talk about some email marketing best practices to make sure that your email is getting to them in the right format, with the right content, and in the right frequency. So email marketing is traditionally thought of more as a practice for online store owners, for e-commerce websites. And that is not true. If you subscribe to some of your favorite blogs through their mailing list, you're probably getting some really good content in your inbox. But online store owners do have it right in some ways when it comes to email marketing. Two goals of email marketing for online store owners are interaction and retention. And you want to think the same way for your email marketing as a blogger. So you want to think of interaction as your goal when it comes to getting people to actually click from your email, so from your newsletter, to your blog. What you want to do, and we'll talk about this more throughout the presentation, is you want to make sure that your email is compelling enough to grab their attention and to get them clicking through. And also retention. Sure, your blog doesn't sell tangible goods like an online store, but you are selling your blog posts, trying to get people to come back and read your blog posts. You want to get away from those casual grazers who come to your blog maybe just once, read your post and like your post, but never come back. Instead, you want to propel them to subscribe to your email mailing list, get in their inbox, say at least once a week or a few times a month, and get them reading your blog posts so that they do connect with your blog frequently and come back and read your blog more often. And you also want to think like an e-commerce store owner when it comes to actually crafting your email. So you want to make sure your email is around a single topic. Say you're a recipe blogger and you decide to start building up an email list and start emailing your subscriber base. When you start thinking about what you want to put in that email, you want to include, say, a recipe of the day, something like that. But you're certainly not going to include running tips in that blog post. You always want to make sure it's around one topic. So before you can even start thinking of sending out email blasts, you first need subscribers. So we're going to first talk about that. So one of the first things you want to do, and I'm going to focus on WordPress here for a moment, but a lot of the other common blogging platforms have some great plugins as well. But WordPress has some really nice email marketing plugins. So the first one is What You Send Is Just Awesome. It's kind of a take on the WYSIWYG, What You See Is What You Get editor, and that's the one I use, and I love it. There's also SendPress and Newsletter Manager, which are also great email marketing plugins. And a lot of the email service providers also have their own plugins. And what an email service provider is a platform that allows you to craft your emails and send your emails right through that platform. So you've probably heard some of the more common ones. There's MailChimp, Constant Contact, Vertical Response, iContact. Those are all email service providers, or ESPs as we call them. So once you've chosen your setup, your email marketing setup plugin, or you've chosen an email service provider and you're using their plugin, The next thing you want to do is put a newsletter sign-up form right on your blog, because of course you need to give people a place to actually sign up and put their email address in to subscribe to your mailing list. So when you do your newsletter sign-up form, you want to keep it pretty simple. So it could just be a simple form on, say, the top or bottom of your blog that just says, sign up here, or get updates. So they'll put their email address in, press submit, and they're subscribed to your newsletter. From there, what you can do is also something called list segmenting. So this sounds a little fancy, but it's actually a really simple concept. So what it is breaking out your audience into a few buckets. And what I mean by buckets is, think of your audience. So say for me, I have a running blog. So I break up my audience into, say, newbie runners, and then say ultra marathoners. So I'm certainly not going to send them the same type of newsletter content. So by breaking out my audience into a few different groups, it allows me to tailor my content to the interests of those groups, and then send out newsletters that are appropriate to those interests. And a lot of plugins will actually let you create those buckets so that when someone subscribes to your newsletter, they can select right then and there which bucket they want to fall into. And a lot of plugins also have back-end systems right within your blog that do allow you to also select which bucket the person goes into. Now, once they sign up for your newsletter, most plugins will send them an opt-in message. And what an opt-in message is just an email, like an email confirmation that they receive that thanks them for signing up and says, hey, we just want to verify that you indeed do want to sign up for our mailing list. Please click this link to confirm. That lets you have a really clean, qualified list. And that's what you want throughout every step of your email marketing. You always want quality and qualified subscribers. So by having an opt-in message, that really helps you have the best list possible. And keep your opt-in message short and sweet. Thank them for subscribing. Say like, hey, just need to verify that you signed up for the mailing list, and include the link, and then let them go on their merry way. Now, before you even start sending, you need to plan out what you're going to send. And planning is really key when it comes to email marketing. So some common ideas that really work well for email marketing for bloggers are weekly blog post roundups of your posts. So you could do, say, a Friday blog post roundup that talks about some of the most popular posts during the week. Maybe it gives a list of the 3 most popular posts. You can also do exclusive content. And we as people, we always love that feeling of exclusivity, getting insider tips. And through the newsletters, you as the blogger could say, give your take on a certain topic that you wouldn't normally post about on your blog, but that is relevant for your readers. Or maybe tips, like insider tips, something like that. Just something exclusive that is outside the normal content on your blog. You could also do best of, top 5, or blog awards. I think we all love to see what that #1 pick is. And what you could do in your blog is, say, include the 5, 4, 3, 2 of something, and then #1, they have to click through to your blog to see what it is. And that helps increase the click-throughs on your newsletter to get them coming to your blog and reading your blog. And for different blog awards, don't be afraid to link out to other blogs or other websites out there. That shows that you are active in your community and that you're sharing love. Chances are that other blog will post about what you did and give you a bit of publicity as well. You can also do newsletter-only giveaway and promo codes. So say you're working with a sponsor that is really relevant to your blog readers. Now, you don't want to, do sponsored messages too often, but say once a month or once every 2 weeks, you could send out a promo code only for your mailing list subscribers from that sponsor. And that's another reason to get people to actually sign up for your email list instead of only just coming back and reading your blog posts. You could also do quality ad content from sponsors, so you don't always have to approve a coupon code or promo code in those newsletters from your sponsors. You could include a message from them, or kind of do like a one-on-one where you talk about why that sponsor is relevant to your audience and kind of like give your vote of approval. And you could also do links to sites and blogs that are relevant to your readers. So again, like I said, with the blog awards or the best of, you could talk about the 5 best blogs, in addition to your own, of course. So the 5 best websites that your blog readers can get running sneakers from, something like that. So how often should you send? That's a very common question, and that honestly makes or breaks an email campaign. If you send too often, there's a good chance that your spam rate will also be very high. People get quite a bit of email nowadays, so you want to make sure that you're sending just enough that they welcome your email and aren't seeing it as spammy in their inbox. So typically the rule of thumb that we go by is about once per week. But as your mailing list does grow, you can experiment and try sending out more emails and see how your mailing list responds to those emails. So for instance, a few ideas here. You could do one tip of the day style newsletter. You could do a weekly blog post roundup, and then even one monthly sponsored ad content newsletter from one of your sponsors. So one of the hardest parts of doing email marketing is keeping it out of the spam filter. So first, you want to make sure that you do send from a reliable email service provider. So that's an ESP, like I was talking about in the beginning of the presentation. And I have just a few listed here. There are many. These MailChimp, Campaigner, Vertical Response, and iContact are some of the largest and most popular ones. And by sending through one of these emails, sorry, question? Okay. So by sending through an email service provider, it allows you to capitalize on their prominence with email providers like Gmail or Yahoo Mail, and can help increase the likelihood that your email actually gets in the inbox of your subscribers and doesn't get sent to the dreaded junk folder. You also want to make sure that your email is compatible on all common email providers. So email providers are like Gmail or Microsoft Outlook or Yahoo Mail. So when you're crafting your email, make sure that you are using different design templates and images that will load on all common email providers, and also make sure you're using image alt tags on your images. In case someone doesn't have their images turned on where they load automatically in Gmail, for example, you could use image alt tags so that the person still knows what is in the content of that email. And it also shows the email providers, it gives your email a little bit more trust, and increases the likelihood, again, that you'll actually be delivered to the inbox of your mailing list subscribers. Now, when it comes to email design, less is definitely more. You've heard that adage so many times, but it again once more rings true when it comes to email marketing. And I'm going to show you two blogger newsletters here that are really nice and really capitalize on a clean design. So the first is greatest.com, so Greatest Daily Newsletter. So you'll notice here that for one, the design of the email very much reflects the design of their website. That header design is very similar to greatest.com's website. And what that does is helps you identify that email with the website that you know very well. So it creates one seamless brand experience. The next thing is that you'll see that blue headline right there, and that headline in just a few words explains what that entire email is about. So that grabs people right from the start. You also see there's a large image too. Of course, visual imagery captures our attention, gets us interested in the email and reading the email. Then they have a snippet of one of their blog posts and also the read more link. So their goal is to capture your attention through that small snippet and then get you clicking that read more link to actually go and visit their blog. They also include their social media icons. So that allows you as a subscriber to interact with the other social media channels that the blog has. This is the rest of the greatest email, the greatest daily email as well. So you'll see they include a few links to related blog posts that are applicable to the topic of the email. So again, keeping it around the single topic. And then on the bottom, a few other related blog posts as well. And again, just lots of imagery. The second email is Fitness Magazine, their daily fit tip email. So again, just like the Greatest Daily email, they also make sure that their email reflects the same design as their website for one brand experience. They also include an attention-grabbing headline, pump up the pace on this one, and then include a snippet of their blog post, along with a link to read the full blog post, and also links to a few related blog posts. And you'll also see the huge image that they have. Just like the Greatest email, they really want to capture your attention through the imagery. And they do something really interesting with the bottom of their email. They do a daily giveaway, you'll see that on the left. They also do a healthy recipe of the day, that of course, relates to the audience, the Fitness Magazine newsletter audience. So they do a daily recipe of the day, and because their list size is large enough, they also do sponsored ad content in each newsletter. And then on the bottom of each newsletter, they also do 2 giveaways to get people, again, grab their attention and get them clicking through to the Fitness Magazine website. Now, it's really important to track how your emails perform. So to do that, you need to tag your links. And what I mean by this is making sure that any links that you put in your email, that you can see how many people clicked on those links. And that really gives you a lot of insight into how your email is performing, if it's doing well or not. So a lot of email service providers will have built-in link tracking, but if it doesn't, you could actually just set up custom links right in Google Analytics. And then you just want to make sure that you use those custom links throughout the body of your email. Now, email marketing, like every other marketing method, can take some time to perform well. So if at first you don't succeed, you really want to try different strategies. So take a look in your analytics or in your email service provider's analytics, see how well those links within your newsletter performed. If you see that your post on, say, hydration tips for runners performed better than your post about the top 5 running sneaker brands, then tweak your future posts based on that information. You also want to think about how frequently you're sending. Of course, don't send too often. Like I said before, just say no to spam. Make sure that your frequency is not obtrusive to your subscribers. You also want to make sure that you're building your list organically. So do not, buy a list of potentially unqualified subscribers. You want to grow your subscriber base through promoting your mailing list in social media channels, through blog posts on your blog, even your business card can have, a little call like subscribe to the mailing list. That way you're continually building a subscriber base of really qualified subscribers. And like I said before on the previous slide, make sure you're looking at each newsletter's analytics. Don't be passive when it comes to the success of your email marketing. Always make sure you're evaluating and tweaking based on that. Any questions?
How important do you think it is for email marketing? Like, say for me, I'm a one-person business, and I use Facebook, I use Twitter, I use Google Plus, and LinkedIn, and so on occasionally. Mm-hmm. But how important do you think email marketing is in comparison to the others, and how important do you think it is to get the word out, to link to your other social media platforms?
Mm-hmm. I don't think when it comes to email marketing, I don't think it's, I think it's a very different marketing method than social media or any of your others, so it can't really be ranked in accordance with them. It's more of a complement to them. And like I said earlier in the presentation, you want to make sure that the people reading your blog aren't just passive grazers, but are actually coming back, so it's retention marketing. So you want to use it in conjunction with social media and your other marketing methods to get those people coming back, because it's a whole lot easier to get that same blog reader coming back than to attract new ones. So you do want to make sure you're doing email marketing in conjunction with social media, even though time is, of course, a little difficult.
Thank you.
Yep.
Do you have any tips just for growing the list naturally and organically, like you talked about?
Yeah. So When you do, first, of course, you want to put the newsletter sign up form right on your blog and make sure it is in a space that's eye-catching. The one don't, I would say, is putting it too close to your blog's search form, just in case people confuse the newsletter sign up with the search function. But you do want to make sure it's in an attention-grabbing area. From there, you do want to post on your blog from time to time, like, hey, sign up for my mailing list. And you can even include a teaser of one of your blog posts, or if there was a newsletter-only promo code that you sent out, you could say, like, hey, we just sent out 25% to, you know, such and such website. Don't miss it next time. Sign up for the mailing list so you get it. So you could do that right through your blog. Then also on, say, Facebook, Twitter, you know, Google+, LinkedIn, make sure that you're posting on there about signing up for your mailing list. And then any other, wherever else you're advertising your blog, you could also promote it right through there. I said, like, even business cards, like just on tangible paper goods. You could even say, like, visit the blog and sign up for my mailing list.
What about personal contact with the people who are reading your blog? You do just a contact us thing, or?
Well, you would encourage them to subscribe to your mailing list, and from there you would want to send the opt-in message just to make sure that they are qualified and actually do want to receive your mailing list.
Right. But I mean, what about personal, so you have an idea, a better idea who it actually is that's reading your blog?
Mm-hmm.
Do a contest thing?
Yeah, exactly. Yep, you could do a giveaway. I know we use Rafflecopter quite a bit, and one of the entry methods could be share your email address for an entry. Mm-hmm. I think someone over there.
I just started on WordPress for a while. Can you design the newsletter on WordPress? Like, what do you use to design the newsletter?
You could do that right through one of the email service providers, and some of the plugins have the ability to do that as well. One of the plugins that I mentioned, What You Send Is Just Awesome, that one, you can design it right through that plugin, but the email service providers will have a lot of visual editors for you to design it right through there, and they make it really easy to do it.
Are there ways for people who want to grow their mailing list to add newsletter signups to different social media?
I believe there is the ability to do that. You'll want to, of course, make sure that you do tailor to the social media site. And again, make sure you're not over promoting the mailing list. You never want to seem spammy, but you do want to mention it on the social media platform and include sign-up forms everywhere, like wherever possible you can.
Do you have any thoughts on, if you only have time to send out an email like once a week, do you have any thoughts on the best practices to determine the time of day or day of week to get the most successful read rate?
Mm-hmm. So like I said about analytics, analytics is pretty much everything in marketing, so you do want to use your email's analytics to take a look at that. And then also check out the different plugins and things like that if they give you the ability to view information like the time of day of the most opens for your newsletter. But again, just take a look at analytics and really dive into that after you've set your newsletter.
So is it okay to sort of like to send it different days a week, like throughout the month, to see if you're getting like higher or lower success rates?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you really want to experiment with email and check out, when your emails are, when your open rate is the highest, when your click-through rate is the highest, and evaluate which day and which time is the best to send at.